What's up, guys? It's AJ with DNA Outdoors. We just went out and did a little bit of shrimping. We took the boat out at night, we threw some lights out, dipped a net, and we got about 2.5 gallons of shrimp. Didn't limit out, but by myself, I think I did pretty all right. So I'll show you some of the shrimping, and then I'll show you a little cook. We're gonna cook some of that shrimp. I think we're gonna make a creamy shrimp Cajun pasta. And then if you stand by to the end of the video, I'm going to show you some of my equipment, what I use, how I use it, when I use it, where I use it, and how we caught them 2.5 gallons of shrimp. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and let's see how it all went. Here we go, baby. All right, guys, we're getting started right away. I just anchored, just got the lights in the water, and I see shrimp all over the place. So we got these 2 green lights down there in the water, and the shrimp are running on the bottom. They're seeing those lights, and that kind of causes them to jump up. Kind of like spooks them, sends them to the surface, because shrimp a lot of times they crawl down on the bottom, almost like ants. And they, when they see that light, shoots them to the surface, and that's when we dip them in the net. So we're kind of, I think the tide charts were just a little off today, but that's all right. There's one. Oh yeah, got him. So far nothing huge, but hey, we're shrimping, baby. We are shrimping. Oh, there's one a little deep. Oh, I think I got him. Oh yeah. Here comes another one. Boom, got him, son. There we go, baby. All right, guys, holy crap. I can't dip them as fast as they're swimming. Tonight would be a great night to have a second person with me, but I'm gonna dump my first load here and see what we got. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. They're giving me a workout tonight. It's a good night. Let's see what we got so far. It's gonna be one-handed, so. Oh yeah, already filled up the bottom of the bucket. That's what I'm talking about. Here we go, baby. They are a little deep. Here comes one. I don't know if you can see, he's just coming right in the current, swimming right in the current. Oh, right in the net. And you just scoop him up. That looks like a shrimp right there. Yep, he's trying to swim against the current. Oh, we got him. We got him. So this long sock on this dip net just fills up with shrimp. You don't want to let it fill up too much, because it's just got like a little tie on the bottom that'll come open if you have too much weight in there. So I'm gonna get a couple dozen shrimp, dump them in the bucket. That's a smaller one right there, but that's all right with me because I need some bait. I just funnel down that net. All right, I'm gonna go grab my headlamp and see if I can't see some more shrimp that way with that red light, kind of light their eyes up. All right, guys, I had to take my glasses off because I was sweating. It's like, I don't know, 50 something. It's supposed to be in the 40s tonight, and I'm sweating. But I'm about to dump the second load in. Let's see what we got. Here we go, baby. Let's see. Yes, sir. All right, guys, we are headed back to the boat ramp. We caught about 2.5 gallons. Man, if I would had somebody else with me in that first 30 minutes or so, I would have been able to limit out, but I couldn't even dip them as fast as they were coming. They were coming in quick, but we still had a good night. I'm still really looking forward to getting home, popping the heads off these things, freeze them, and then we're going to make a little pasta dish. I think a little bit of a Cajun pasta dish. I did it at work a few weeks ago with chicken, and I think shrimp will make it really good. So we'll give that a shot. Check it out. Here we go, baby. All right, guys, I just got home. I'm trying to be quiet because Danielle and Jackson are sleeping. It's like 4:30 in the morning, and I gotta pop heads off these shrimp. All right, guys, I'm gonna pop these heads real fast. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the shrimp, I'm going to squeeze just behind the head and then pop the head off. A lot of times the vein comes out all at the same time. I'll do a couple, show you. I did in a video I did last year, but I'll show again. And then we'll get these things frozen up. Just want to grab the shrimp. I squeeze just behind the head there and pop. And see, that vein comes right out sometimes. And do it again. Squeeze and pop, and that vein comes right out. Once I really get going, I try to grab a few by the antennas like this and just get to popping. All right, guys, so that was the shrimping. I had a great time. I was by myself. If I had another person with me for probably like the first 30 minutes or so, they were running wild. I probably would have been able to limit out pretty quick. Right, buddy? Oh, yeah, we would have been able to limit out really quick. Anyway, we're going to get to cooking the pasta. It's going to be, like I said, the like a creamy Cajun shrimp pasta. The ingredients are pretty simple. We got some Tony Chachere's, heavy whipping cream, Parmesan, some salt, pepper, garlic, onion, yellow bell pepper, olive oil, some penne pasta, and of course the shrimp. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get that pasta boiling, peel and devein the shrimp. I'm gonna use my new Toadfish shrimp peeler deveiner tool. Again, not sponsored by them, but it would be pretty awesome. Just saying. Yeah, well, let's get this started. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to have some. All right, tell them. The first step is we're going to have to get the penne pasta into a pot with some salted water and boil it. We're going to cook the pasta. That's step one. All right, guys, like Jackson said, step one is to boil the pasta, right? We're going to boil the pasta, get it cooked, and just set it aside. All right, guys, I already got my shrimp deheaded. I'm going to use this new fancy Toadfish peeler deveiner and peel and devein all these shrimp. All right, guys, this thing is friggin' awesome. I just tried it out on a couple of shrimp. Watch this. You stick it in, basically, and push it right through the shrimp. It peels and deveins that shrimp instantly. Watch, I'll do it again. This thing is pretty sweet. I don't know why I didn't buy this sooner. Stick it in and just push. And it's peeled and deveined. You have to be careful. That's a sharp little blade right there. But this thing is awesome. Toadfish for the win. So here we're going to put a little bit of olive oil in a pan, get our shrimp in there, season it up with the Tony Chachere's, the old Creole seasoning, some salt and pepper, just kind of the taste. And then we're going to set the shrimp aside, so not too much olive oil. Let that heat up for just a second. And we have our shrimp. We'll dump that in with the seasoning and the salt and pepper. What you got? Oh, okay. Take a bite. All right, guys, we got the yellow pepper and half an onion chopped up. We're gonna go ahead, put them here in the skillet and cook them down a bit. Now this is the same skillet with the same seasonings and the same oil left from when we just cooked the shrimp. I may add just a little bit more salt and pepper to this just to spice it up and season it up a little bit. But we'll see how it goes as we cook these down. While these start to cook down, I'm gonna go ahead and add about a tablespoon, give or take, maybe a little bit more of some garlic here. You can mince up a couple cloves if you want, 2 or 3 cloves, but just put a little bit in here. Alright, so I'm apparently choking the family out, but we got them onions and peppers sauteed up pretty nicely. Now we're going to add this heavy whipping cream and the Parmesan. Turn down the heat. It's pretty much a 1-to-1 ratio. So we're going to add, I'm going to try to add about 1.5 cups there, because this bag of Parmesan, I realize, is only 1.5 cups. But we're going to let that heat back up just a little. Got my little Teflon whisk here. We're going to start whisking as this heats up. Right, pal? Jackson just came over. He just got out of the bath and he is wearing these super duper cute dinosaur Christmas pajamas. He loves them even though it's February. Once this heats back up, like I said, we're going to start whisking a little bit and start slowly adding some of this Parmesan cheese in here. And whisk as it melts. And that's going to make this thicken up into basically like a Cajun Alfredo sauce. And Jackson is saying, Try to spread it pretty evenly so it cooks pretty evenly and it doesn't thicken in one area more than the rest, even though we'll mix it all up in the end. Just makes it easier as you're doing it. So that 1-to-1 ratio, it's kind of a generalization. You can add as much heavy whipping cream or as much Parmesan as you want. Just kind of depends on how thick or how creamy you like your Alfredo, Cajun Alfredo sauce here. But it is important just to keep whisking it and try to get it all cooked down pretty evenly. You can taste as you go, and you could add more salt and pepper as you please. Keep letting it cook until it becomes like I said, whatever consistency you like, just the same consistency throughout. So that if it's thick in the middle, like it is a little thicker here, move that out to the edges and keep going. That, I think, looks pretty good right there. I'm going to back that heat all the way down. Give this a little taste. Yes, I'm going to use my finger. Oh yeah, I don't think I need to add anything to that other than the pasta and the shrimp. Here's our pasta. And let's go ahead and mix that in a little bit first. Now you can use kind of any pasta you like. I prefer penne, especially with like a little Cajun pasta. You could use regular fettuccine or, you know, just whatever your little heart desires. My little heart desires penne. Once you get that pasta in there, drizzle that shrimp on top. Keep mixing. And boom, how good does that look? I can't wait to get a little bit of this. You can make this with the shrimp. You can also make this, I've made it with chicken before, which is also delicious. But since I just call that shrimp, I decided let's give it a shot. So I'm gonna bowl this up for me and Danielle and see what we think of it. Here we go, baby. You see Enzo right there. He smells it, he wants some, but guess what? He ain't getting any. Give this a quick little mix. Oh man, it smells so good. Put it in the bowl. Look at that. Doesn't that look delicious? Buzz Lightyear. He approves. Buzz Lightyear approves. Danielle just took a bite. She said it was hot. What do you think, babe? It's delicious. I know.
It's good.
I know.
Did you try it yet?
I know. Not yet. I'm trying it right here. I need to make sure I get some of that shrimp on there. Look at that. Oh my God. I got a hole in my mouth.
Spicy.
It's got a little spice to it. A little kick to it. Look at that little shrimp in there. That looks amazing. Oh yeah, this is the recipe right here. Make it. Trust me, you'll like it. But don't forget to stand by. Check it out. After this, I'm gonna grab some of my gear and equipment and show you guys what I use, how I use it. You don't have to go spend $1 million on all your lights and all that stuff. There is a cheaper way to do it. So check this out. You're gonna wanna see it. And if you're ever in the area here, go shrimping. It's so much fun. It's a blast. Check it out. Here we go, baby. All right, guys, so I went shrimping down in the Oak Hill area, which is the south end of Volusia County. That's where a lot of these shrimp run. It's a good area where they come out of the lagoon in the grass and they kind of start following up into the intercoastal. So I try to go, seem to do best during that outgoing tide. So from high tide to low tide, you anchor your boat up. And depending on your boat and your setup, like I have a pontoon boat. It's a big square or a rectangle and it's got a deck on the front of it. That deck is great to shrimp off of. I could pitch my lights out and then stand there with my net and scoop it up. So I only use one anchor most of the time unless it's super windy. If you have like a center console or something along those lines and you want to shrimp, like say off the side of your boat to get a little bit more of an area, you can use 2 anchors, have your boat kind of sideways, and then you could set up 2. Some people even will use 3 or 4 lights. And then you'll also be able, you know, depending, maybe have like 2 or 3 other people helping you shrimp off the side of the boat there. But it just depends on your boat, your setup, how you want to set up in your preference. So these shrimp seem to run best in this area late winter, early spring. And they run for a few months. You know, there's a lot of different information out there on the moon phases, which has to do with them molting and running and breeding and stuff. But I seem to do best, and most people seem to do best. The target time is outgoing tide, from high tide to low tide. Now I'm just going to talk real quick about some of the equipment that I used, since it's so hard to see in that nighttime video. But to start, you need yourself a good net. This thing is, I don't know, haven't measured it, but maybe about 10 foot long. There are some regulations on the openings and stuff, but as long as you buy a net that's made for shrimping, most of the time they're the correct sizes. But always check your regulations just to be sure. And then these nets, they have this long stock that the shrimp, this is what you're kind of catching the shrimp with. You're scooping them up, they fall into this net, and then it's got this little zip that opens and closes, so you're able to dump the shrimp but also able to keep them in there. You got to make sure that stays closed, and make sure it's closed all the way, because the other night I was out, wasn't closed all the way. I lost probably about 1.5 dozen shrimp, and some of them are really good size. Yeah, that's a net. Pretty simple. Depending on where you get them from, they range from about, I don't know, 100 to 130 bucks each or so. You can get replacement nets for them. Okay, another really important tool is these lights. Use the green LED lights. They're easy and soft on the eyes. This one just uses the alligator clips. This is just a cheap light that I got off of Amazon. Lights up the water super well though. I don't remember exactly how much I paid for it, maybe 20 or 30 bucks. I tie a little float to it to keep it floating on the bottom. And then this is just a lead weight that I molded with like a mini Coke can. So I have that tied to some paracord. I throw it out, and I have some loops throughout my paracord here, and a little carabiner on the bottom. Close here on the bottom of my light, so that I can change the height here depending on the water clarity and stuff. And then, like I said, that float holds the light up. I use 2 lights. I throw the lights out. Throw the lights out off of my deck on my boat. I have a pontoon boat with a pretty good sized deck on it that I stand on. I throw one angled out, I don't know, 45 degrees or so to the right, one to the left. I'm also anchored up, so I'm flowing back with the current. But the idea is you kind of want that light to make 2 rings, and kind of have the rings so that they overlap, because you want as the shrimp are coming, they'll funnel through, they'll see the light, it'll spook them a little bit, they'll shoot up toward the surface, and that's when you're able to scoop them up with your net. Sometimes they'll have like super thick runs. They'll come, it seems like, in almost like in little swarms, where you'll maybe catch 6, 8, 10, 12 or more, and then you might go a minute or 2 without catching any. But that's how I set the lights up. All right, so another thing I got started using this year is a headlamp, but this headlamp has a red option on it. When I'm shining this down on the water, I'm able to see them shrimp as they pop up, like way before I'm able to see them without this light. This light is a huge game changer. I saw some people using them last year, decided to check it out, and man, what a world of a difference. All right, another important tool is your bucket. You need a 5-gallon bucket. You're allowed to keep 5 gallons per vessel if you're on a boat, or 5 gallons per person if you're shrimping from shore. But also mark your bucket. Figure out where 5 gallons is, because even though this is a 5-gallon bucket, the 5 gallons on most buckets actually stops kind of short of the ring. So if you get stopped by Fish and Game and you're over that 5 gallons, that could be a pretty big issue. So make sure you know all of the rules, regulations, guidelines where you're fishing at. All right, guys, so that was the meat and potatoes of it. Like I said, I don't claim to be a pro, just kind of sharing some of my experiences. Hopefully everybody can get out there and take some tips and tricks from everybody and all these other good videos that you see on here, and you're able to go out there and have a good time. Again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching. Here we go, baby.